We want to take you back to that breaking news. Reports of an active shooter in the Midland, Odessa, Texas area. There are reports of multiple people injured and possibly as many as 2 suspects at large in 2 separate vehicles. Joining me now on the phone, Danny Colson, former assistant director of the FBI, to talk about what we are learning so far. Details are, we've only got a few of them right now. Danny, tell us what your thoughts are right now. We're hearing 2 people in possibly 2 separate vehicles driving around shooting at people as law enforcement is trying to get a handle on this. What are your thoughts?
Oh, my gosh. This is a terrible situation. It reminds me of Mumbai, India, where numerous terrorists attacked the city of Mumbai in different locations. I hope this is not an indication of the escalation of this type of events where you have 2 or more individuals hitting multiple targets. That makes it 10 times more difficult for the police and responding law enforcement and medical people. So people need to get off the street, park their car, go someplace. You want to have a cup of coffee, this thing is over because it's mobile. You don't know what you're going to drive into, and it's extremely dangerous. And I hope this is not a harbinger for what we're going to be faced with in the near future.
Yeah, we know a lot of people listen to Fox News on Sirius XM, on satellite radio in their vehicles. We hope that people are listening now as they may be driving around in this Odessa Midland area. We did get an update here from the Midland Police Department saying that, again, 2 shooters, 2 separate vehicles, 1 suspect believed to be in Midland and the other believed to be driving on Loop 250 in Midland. The 2 vehicles in question, a gold-white small Toyota truck and a USPS postal van, asking people to stay away from these areas, stay indoors. We're monitoring social media. There are some reports that that postal van may have been hijacked. We just don't have that confirmed yet. We're working on getting those details. You've got the news that this is happening and people to stay away, but you can imagine driving in this area, hearing stay away from the road and knowing that somebody out there is pointing a gun out of a window, perhaps. Where do people go when you hear something like this?
Go off those roads. Get away from that area.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, get on the interstate and drive the maximum speed limit and get as much space between you and the subjects. This is going to be an issue that will be resolved by patrol officers, state, county, city officers who should be heavily armed with semi-automatic rifles to resolve this. And the SWAT team likely will not, because they want to engage first. But this is one of the most frightening things I've heard for a while. We have multiple shootings, and they're mobile. This is a pretty serious situation. And
we're also getting reports here into our newsroom that the active shooter situation may have also taken place at a Home Depot in Odessa. So there's a couple of different things going on. We don't know if they are related, but that is also coming to us from the Midland Police Department. Now, as the former deputy assistant director of the FBI, what would you be telling your teams right now? Who are you sending out, and what would the plan of attack be?
Well, every patrol officer that I would have there, including the FBI, the ATF, DEA, anybody that can monitor the radio traffic and head that direction. The problem here is that radio traffic sometimes overpowers the situation, and that's something these officers need to be careful of. Get on the radio, say what you have to say, and get off. Because I know in rural Colorado they couldn't even talk to each other because of the radio traffic. So this is very, very complicated. It's very, very difficult, and patrol officers are going to resolve this. And I would go into a basic lockdown situation, that area around there. I'd tell all the businesses, all the homes, you guys get everybody out there and lock down and get about your business, but don't be around here.
Yeah, it's been a terrifying scene that we've unfortunately see play out time and time again, especially when it comes to possibly happening inside of a large store like the ones we've seen in the past. And it is so scary when you think of this happening inside a store, possibly in a parking lot, on the roads, 2 vehicles. Mike Emanuel is with me here at the anchor desk as well. I know you know the area well.
Yeah, those 2 communities are about 20 miles apart. They are connected by Interstate 20, and so if indeed the shooters have attacked in both cities, it's not very hard to get from one to the other. And so you may be having Midland police and or Odessa police warning their communities, realizing they're next door to the other, and it's pretty easy with Interstate 20 there to get back and forth in between. Danny, your thoughts in terms of what next steps the locals can do there on the scene and making sure what's real and what may be rumor in terms of people in a panic calling things in?
Well, that's part of the problem is you get over-reporting, but you want reporting. And so you kind of have to sift through that. Basically, their patrol officers are going to resolve this. And I would be shocked if there's not aircraft involved in this search, either helicopter or fixed wing. It needs to be up, and I think they probably are. There's a great relationship there between those two departments and also between the federal authorities. And it's just all hands out. Let's go.
Yeah.
You have to muster up and go for these guys, and there's not a lot of secrets to it. Maximum manpower, observation. But remember, this is very deadly for these police officers. They're running into a gunfight, and kudos to them for having the courage to do that.
You've got Midland Police, the Midland Sheriff's Department, you've got the Texas Department of Public Safety probably quickly on the scene, then you've got the Odessa Police and the Ector County Sheriff's Department, so a variety of law enforcement agencies that are hopefully quite used to working with one another. And Laura?
We're also we want to share with you something that the Odessa Police Department has put on their Facebook post, trying to get the word out. As we're talking about, radio traffic, trying to get the word out to anybody that they can. Here's what it reads. A subject, possibly two, is currently driving around Odessa shooting at random people. At this time, there are multiple gunshot victims. The suspect just hijacked a U.S. mail carrier truck and was last seen in the area of 38th and Walnut. Everyone is encouraged to get off the road and use extreme caution. All law enforcement is currently searching for the suspect. So that has just gone out on the Odessa Police Facebook page. You've got, I'm sure, news radio going wild with this, letting people know. We're doing our best to communicate this as well. So you've got people on the road, people in stores, trying to protect themselves, their family members. You're in a Home Depot on a Saturday afternoon, the last weekend of summer before Labor Day, and trying to protect your family. It is a terrifying situation that people are being faced with right now, and again, multiple people have been shot. We don't have a number that we can confirm to you right now, but that number does appear to be growing. So, Danny, when you hear this, what more do you have to say about what the Odessa Police Department has put out on Facebook?
Well, that's totally appropriate. The police are minutes away, but seconds matter in these situations. It's up to each one of us to be prepared to protect ourselves, and that's by taking cover, going home, getting the car and driving the other direction. They're doing exactly the right thing, and I kind of think that maybe we have one shooter that's very mobile. I could be totally wrong about that. That's kind of a wag. It sounds like one very mobile individual. Hopefully it's not two, and hopefully it's not more. But let's just send prayers that our valiant law enforcement officers get this thing resolved. Yeah,
well, the Midland Police Department, who's also working on this as well, is saying that they believe that there are two vehicles. And I'll repeat it again in case people there can hear us, that the vehicles in question are a gold-white small Toyota truck, and again, that USPS postal van that apparently, the driver of that was hijacked, or they somehow got away with that postal van. So we're looking at two different vehicles with people shooting at random people up and down these roads and possibly at this Home Depot in Odessa. So you've got people looking out for two vehicles. You've got, I'm sure, law enforcement moving throughout this interstate that you know very well, Mike.
Yeah, no question about it. And I know law enforcement there is really top-notch, so I'm sure they're all over the situation with reports of attacks in both perhaps Midland and Odessa. Obviously a complicated situation, but I imagine the scanner traffic is probably going wild there in West Texas right now, just before 5 o'clock local time, as they try to track down two suspects, two different vehicles, a Toyota pickup truck and a United States Postal Service van vehicle. And so obviously a very disturbing situation on the ground there in the Midland, Odessa area of West Texas, known as the Permian Basin. So our thoughts and prayers to the folks there. And we certainly hope that law enforcement can get these guys, whoever they are, as quickly as possible with as limited bloodshed as possible.
And they say, again, the police telling anybody who can hear us, for the safety of the public and law enforcement, please stay away from this area. Stay inside of your homes. They promise to update us with more information as soon as possible. But again, we're looking at the Odessa Police Facebook page right now. We'll put that back up, repeating a subject, possibly two, currently driving around Odessa, shooting at random people at this time, multiple gunshot victims. Of of course, as we monitor social media, those numbers are kind of going all over the place, but we don't want to say anything until we know from the police just how many people have been struck. But we've got the police telling us that multiple people have been hit in this area. So if you are in that area, you are encouraged to get inside your homes. Keep the doors locked, and that is what law enforcement is saying right now. In terms of this area, Mike, I don't know how much residential area is at 38th and Walnut. I mean, that's a pretty pinpointed area.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a while for me since I've been in those neighborhoods, and so I don't want to misspeak, but, with Interstate 20 there, these communities are very closely connected, and so you may have a situation where suspect vehicles are going back and forth between Midland and Odessa, and so certainly an alarming situation for folks there in West Texas, and we hope that law enforcement is able to stop whatever's going on at this hour, just before 5 o'clock local time there in West Texas, and bring this to a resolution swiftly.
We've been joined by Danny Colson, former Deputy Assistant Director of the FBI. We want to thank you for your time today and helping us navigate these last few minutes. Absolutely.